So when we filmed live on location at Beer Tree, we cracked a few jokes at BJ's expense, but
BJ's.
It got me thinking about
BJ's?
About the name. Obviously, the name is a joke. It's funny. But like at some point, there was one BJ's. Probably the guy who started it was named, his nickname was BJ because nobody's actually named BJ.
Right.
And it was probably Billy Joe, Bobby Joe, whatever. Maybe it was named after a relative. So, but the first one, that's fine because it's in some local town. Like, hey, my buddy BJ opened this warehouse store.
Well, what's he called?
Got great deals. BJ's. Oh,
that makes sense.
But at some point, they start scaling up across the country, and there's like
3 BJ's.
3, 5, 7. And at some point, they get investment dollars, and it's like, we're going to take this national. So when that happens, you've got like suits in the room, advertising firms. And at some point along the way, I have to imagine that somebody said, you know, we like the idea of the store. It's doing real. We're really excited about taking this national. Did you ever give some thought to the name, like a different name? You know, I would love to have been a fly on the wall in that advertising conversation where they're probably with the founder or some of the original
with
people.
Billy Joe,
Bobby James. And they're like, you know, we think, you know, even Bobby Joe's might, we just want you to give some thought to the name. And somebody made the decision, nope, we're not changing the name. We're sticking with the name.
Yep.
And it's gone, it's a national chain, probably international at this point.
I'm not sure. Maybe there is a BJ's in Switzerland. I don't know.
Competes with Sam's, Costco.
Maybe Ireland likes BJ's too.
Maybe. There's probably some country that won't allow them to be called BJ's, some conservative country. It's
Russia?
Like,
there's probably no BJ's in Russia.
It's just like, it's Billy Joe's there. But it would have been hilarious to have been there along the way, to be like, I would have loved to have been the ad exec that was like, you know, you do know that the name is going to be funny to some people.
Yeah, why is that? It's just my name,
right.
BJ's. Well, in some circles,
so
BJ has a certain connotation.
And people are going to laugh about it. And either they were like, they doubled down on it and said, we're not changing it, or they kind of leaned into it, like, we're good with it. And that
maybe it was floated, like maybe Billy Joe's dad's name was Henry Joe.
We can't. Yeah.
And like it's like the only other solution would be if we named it after my dad and we called it HJ's.
And they're like, oh, well, we're fine with BJ's.
We'll take it under consideration, but I think
BJ.
BJ's is about as far as we're willing to take it with the pseudonyms.
It's just an amazing story. So I love thinking about backstories of these large chains. And the other one, so it got me thinking about Walmart. Obviously, Walmart was started in Arkansas. At some point, there was one Walmart.
It wasn't called Walton's?
It may have been called Walton's at first, but I actually think it was Walmart. And you can see the pictures of the original store. I think there's a museum there in Arkansas, a Walmart
The original
museum.
store?
It's either the original store or stuff from the original store. I don't know the whole story, but I know it was started there, and then they grew, and then obviously became this massive institution that's, you know, you can have your opinions on it either way, but I'm
not a big fan, but
I'm not either, but it's an institution. There are people in this country that need that store. So whether that's right or wrong, I'm not commenting on that. I'm just saying it's an institution. But along the way, so if you think about it, Walmart grew. Obviously, it was successful in Arkansas. Then they went from 1 store to 2 stores, 3 stores, and then started to go national. And Walmart basically was, I remember when they opened the Walmart in Vestal here, it was in the 80s. And I remember thinking, this is the same thing as Kmart. And it's funny to think about if you were a Kmart executive at that point. They're like, who's this Walmart company that thinks they're coming into our town? And they're like laughing about it. Like,
were they based out of Arkansas?
Ooh, we're scared. Remember George in the episode where they're pitching the pilot? And Jerry's like, you know, George, you can't just ask for more money. They slot $5,000 for these episodes, and if you don't take it, they move on to the next one. And George's like, "Ooh, I'm scared. I'm so scared." Like that's the Kmart executives. They're like, this Walmart's coming into town. Like when that Walmart opened here, there was 3 Kmarts, and so they're probably all like, "Ooh, we're scared of this Walmart." Little did they know, Walmart was going to stomp on them and then piss on their grave.
Little did they know that Walmart was a steamroller.
And that Walmart did what they did just way better and way smarter. And then Kmart got to a point, this is hilarious about the demise of Kmart, is they got to a point where they were like, well, we obviously can't beat these guys at what we do what we did best. They're better than us. So maybe we could try to get a little fancier. And they got like that Martha Stewart line of stuff, and they tried to charge more. And, you know, the problem with that is the name Kmart in this country became synonymous with cheap shit. And sorry, but Walmart became synonymous with cheap shit and did it better than you.
They leaned into it.
And they not only leaned into it, they leaned into taking Kmart out, and they did.
Walmart leaned into that clientele of like, yeah, you want to show up to our store wearing slippers and dirty sweatpants? You come on in. You tell all your friends they're welcome here too. So and it turns out a lot of our population likes to shop in their dirty sweatpants and slippers.
Walmart has profited on the growth of...
They saw around corners.
They saw the growth of the lower class in this country, and that they absolutely knocked it out of the park. Like I said, there are people whose disposable income requires them to shop there, and Walmart serves that purpose, and they're masters at it because, you know, it's well publicized that Walmart, because they're so massive, once your product is in Walmart, they basically own you, because once they decide to sell your product, they want to see that they can sell it. Once they know they can sell it, now they want to sell it cheaper, and then they want to buy it cheaper. And now at this point, your product's in Walmart, your sales are so high that your company's not dependent on that relationship. And Walmart says, you know that thing, that widget we were buying from you for 50 cents a piece? So we're paying 47 cents now. We'll give you a purchase order for the same number. Actually, we'll give you a purchase order for 10% more, but we're buying it at 47 cents. And if you say, well, my costs have gone up, labor has increased, supplies are going up just because of inflation, I need to get for 52 cents. They say, it's 47 cents, or we're just not carrying it anymore.
Next.
Exactly. And that's the power of the size and why they are essentially an institution in this country. Walmart and Amazon are part of many people's daily, or at least weekly lives.
So what you're saying is size actually does matter?
In that case, yeah.
Yes, it
Unfortunately for me.